It is time for your council recap here on Talking Fitchburg, and I'm here with the person who has all the information you want, Chad Brecklin. I can't look at you without smiling and be like, so there's a lot of information, a lot of stuff here on the agenda, and it's because we're wrapping up the year and there's one less council meeting, so everybody's got to get everything in, so a lot happening here. On November 26th, we'll jump right into it. Two big presentations happened. First, the presentation of the 2024 mayoral awards took place.
Yeah, it was an opportunity. The mayor, Arata Frada, had presented the 2024 mayoral awards. Mayor Richardson had started those awards during his tenure as mayor, and Mayor Arata Frada has elected to continue that and has also added a couple of categories to it as well. So if I recall correctly, there was a large and a small business recognized, a citizen, a nonprofit, and a city employee all recognized during the evening. And if I recall even further, the large company was Sub-Zero, the small business was Odessus, the nonprofit was Bike Fitchburg, and the citizen was Ryan Estrella, if I have the name correctly.
Believe so.
And then our own Kevin Richmond was the city employee recognized. It was a great opportunity for folks to be recognized publicly and have some photos taken.
Strategic plan discussion. We had our consultant in kind of, it was the final, not the final, but pretty much wrapping things up with some conversation there from council as well.
Yeah, this is a process that's been going on since I think March of 24, coming up on at least 9 months here, and this was a presentation on the final draft of the plan. It was an opportunity for the Common Council to weigh in and provide some feedback, which they did. The consultant will take that feedback through December 12th, I believe she had indicated. So council has a little bit more time to throw some comments to her. And ultimately, I see the plan coming back in January, ideally for adoption by the Common Council.
And then we will use that as kind of a roadmap to how we proceed forward in the next 5 to 10 years, kind of in that range?
About 3 to 5 years, yeah.
3 to 5, yeah.
Roughly 5, probably more along the 5.
Well, you know, 5 to 10, 3 to 5.
Yep.
All right. We go on to different items on the agenda. We always pass the consent agenda. Keep in mind that there were quite a few pieces on there. They'll be coming up next month. You can see that there. Start with Plan Commission on ordinance, rezoning ordinance here.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. First one relates to some property on Wayland Road that was rezoned to move 2 parts of a parcel to low density residential. There's some existing properties there, so it really doesn't allow for anything new. It's more of kind of a cleanup thing. The second item was an ordinance related to zoning of the Jamestown Quarry, which is the reclaimed quarry property across from the Target on McKee Road. There is a developer currently working through the process there, and this would move this into a specific implementation plan, which would allow 4 lots to be created on McKee Road near Fitchrona Road. That was approved. And then the next thing is also related to this development at the the third one is a different development. This is actually in Highfield Reserve, and this rezone allows for a 115-unit multifamily complex to be built there. Originally, there had been plans for a school or other institutional use, but unfortunately, they have not been able to find a user for that. So they've rezoned it to allow for some multifamily.
All right, we move over to Board of Public Works and starting with approval of purchase of four F-150. I was going to say 4 Ford. Just couldn't do it.
Yep.
I tried and I couldn't. These are to be the Lightning trucks, though.
Yeah, so our Public Works Department, I think maybe one for the utility might be in there as well, or the utility might have one. I might have them slightly mixed up. But ultimately, the Public Works Department has 4 vehicles up for replacement. They're continuing to move towards the electric vehicle route. And they have 2 existing F-150 Lightning trucks, and they are now looking to purchase 4 additional trucks for replacing of other vehicles.
They're pretty cool vehicles, too, if you haven't got to see them up close. It's so cool when they open up the hood and it's just storage.
Yeah.
Like, it just throws you off.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, then we have improvement for subdivision improvements, a standard approval here.
Yeah, we had a few of these come up. The first one is just a subdivision improvement agreement for Oak Meadow. There's some, I think, 10 or 12 single-family housing lots there. That was approved. Next one was an amendment to an existing subdivision improvement agreement in the plat of Highfield Reserve. I think that just allows for some additional phasing and updated some dates there. The third one that was on the list was ultimately postponed to the December 10th meeting. That's for the Jamestown Quarry. Some additional work needs to be done to get that agreement finalized. And then, moving on to the next item, we had authorizing acceptance of the ARPA street resurfacing bid, changing some gears here. And that is the last of the ARPA money that we have available to us. That all needed to be obligated by the end of 2024 and spent, I think, by the end of 2026. And what the city is going to do is the remaining ARPA money that we have is going to be utilized to resurface some additional streets. So this bid was put out, and we anticipate that work will happen in the spring.
Fantastic. We have approving a Second Amendment to an agreement of subdivision improvements. There were a lot of these.
There were a ton of them.
This is in the Swan Creek area.
Yep, exactly. So this is the inspiration at Swan Creek. They reduced their unit count, I think, from 60 down to 57 or somewhere in that neck of the woods, and that required an update to their subdivision improvement agreement. So that was passed.
And then authorizing budget amendment for additional funding for yard waste grinding service. We got a lot of it.
We had a little more yard waste than we have had historically. Some of that contributing factor is to some storm damage earlier this year. But ultimately, there was a budget amendment that was passed to allow us to be able to process that better. And if I recall correctly, Public Works has also adjusted future years' budgets to hopefully cover the additional waste that we've been seeing outside of even the storm damage.
They're huge pile. I mean, if you haven't been out there, they're huge. And they do collect a lot, certainly, and those storms did not help earlier in the year. Moving on to an approving agreement for a subdivision improvement plot for Thermo Fisher subdivision.
Yeah, these next 2 items are related. So the Thermo Fisher company owns some land near McKee Road, and I think it's Spoke Drive, and they're selling a portion of the land that they own, and therefore that is triggering the need for a subdivision improvement agreement. And then the following item, item number 9, Resolution R202-24, is a partial assignment of the aforementioned subdivision agreement with Thermo Fisher. That is being partially assigned to another entity to implement their portion of that subdivision improvement agreement.
All right, accepting public sanitary sewer easement on an Outlot 40 and Terra Vesta plot.
Yeah, so this is pretty common as well. Anytime we have some sanitary or other utilities, oftentimes we need an easement in order to be able to access that and maintain it. So that's what this is.
Then we move down here to accepting public sanitary sewer and main easement on Lot 1 in the Swan Creek area.
Yep, same kind of thing, just a different part of town.
And then we have a release of easement, so you can, if you don't use it, you can give it back.
Right, yeah, so we have one over in the Jamestown neighborhood that is rather old, and in fact this utility easement runs underneath a building, and the city does not have a need for that utility easement, so we are releasing it.
And then we had a postponement on ordinance 2024-0-33.
Yep, that was to lower some speed on West Clayton Road specifically. That needs to go to the Transportation and Transit Commission.
All right, on to a Finance Committee approving the purchase of a stabilization kit for the fire department.
Yeah, our fire department is purchasing, and this was approved, a portable like wall stabilization kit. That will allow them to be able to stabilize these things to minimize injury potential to not only staff but also those they're attending to which is be much more quick and efficient than what their current technology.
I was going to just say,
nails, screws, and lumber.
There is technology advancements on that area for sure. So that is seen in that piece of equipment. And then replacement of a police vehicle, pretty standard procedure here.
Yep, the police department has what they determine to be a fleet vehicle, which generally is used by investigative staff, administrative staff. Needed to replace one of those vehicles that had reached its replacement cycle at 10 years, and this vehicle was approved for purchase by the Common Council.
And then city is getting a hybrid van kind of for all use for city staff.
Yeah, so this would be a pool vehicle available for all city departments. It is a minivan that is a plug-in hybrid. The flexibility of a minivan will allow for some additional ability to move some things here and there, thinking like elections as a good example of where this could be helpful. Staff might be able to take it to training and those sorts of things. So this is a good option, kind of to bridge the gap between a full EV and a gasoline-powered vehicle.
And then finally, under new business, under direct referral, we have an acceptance of a public pedestrian easement and maintenance agreement.
Yeah, so this is for a project in Hartung Fields over near Sain and Lacey, and there's a public pedestrian and bicycle path that is kind of going in between a couple of buildings here, and this is the easement and the maintenance agreement associated with that particular pathway that was approved.
One more council meeting for the year to wrap things up. So I said the referrals for upcoming agenda items that were in there. It makes sense that the list is pretty long, but pretty much that is the time of year. You can go back and watch our Common Council meetings. They're available at the Fact TV's I don't know, the website portal you want to say, but fitchburgwi.gov. Look for Fact TV and the government channel. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you back here for one more round of this in late December here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.